There are some big business and financial implications following the Supreme Court's ruling legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide. I'm joined by Janice Cowhey, co-leader of Marcum's LGBT and non-traditional family practice group. Nice to see you here.
Nice to be here.
Is this decision going to impact the U.S. economy?
Oh, it's going to impact a lot of things. I think just the marriage business is going to boom now. In New York, it boomed 3 years ago when we initiated marriage, so it's an exciting time for everybody.
What does it mean for businesses right now today? What do they need to start thinking about for their employees?
Well, there's a lot of issues when it comes to benefits and now making sure your employer knows you have a spouse, giving them your marriage certificate so they withhold your taxes correctly, health insurance, not adding back in the cost of your health insurance any longer if you're in a legally a state that recognizes your marriage, and which is now our entire country.
What about for couples now when they think about their own financial situation, financial planning, estate planning? It's a whole new ballgame.
It's absolutely a whole new ball game, and there's a lot of things to think about. Many couples aren't married, have been waiting to see where the world goes and what's happening, and they need a lot of planning. They need to review their documents, their assets, how they're titled, and there's opportunities. There's adoption credits that are available before you're married that may not be available after you're married. There's a lot of things to think about. Estate planning, it's nice in the fact that you are now the next of kin, which you were not before. You were a legal stranger in the eyes of the law. Now you're the next of kin, you can go to the hospital, you can inherit, you can't be disinherited from a 401k without your permission.
How quickly are some of these changes going to get implemented in terms of at businesses? Certainly people will do it on their own pace, but what about industry nationwide?
Yeah, that's always the tougher question. Today's a wonderful day and it's a momentous decision, but it's going to take, it's about 2 weeks before the Supreme Court's ruling is finalized. So the states aren't required until the ruling is finalized to recognize same-sex marriages. Some states will opt on their own to do it sooner, as they did right after Windsor. Businesses, it's going to take time. You've got systems in place, computers you need to implement. You need to make sure you give them your marriage certificate so they even know you're married. There's always, the trick is in the details, always.
And in terms of people who have been married in a certain state, they have some rights, but not full rights, all right? It depends case by case. So now they too have to be conscious of how their own personal situation has changed. It's gotten, I'm sure, even better for them on the financial side.
Yeah, in some aspects it's gotten better, but you still have to pay attention to the details. You need to review your estate plan. You need to review how your assets are titled. Maybe you bought joint property before you were married and you want to change it to tenants by the entirety, which is something exclusive for married couples. And those are things that are always dictated by state law. So they will change. You're filing your tax compliance now. That will become uniform across the board at least. You don't have to worry about finding single in those states that didn't recognize your marriage, or if you had income from those states.
But do we know if some of these individual state rules on property and things like that, do they actually have to be changed?
No, most don't. They define a spouse, and now the Supreme Court has said you cannot define a spouse as only strictly between a man and a woman. There are still ways, you know, it's over and it's done for now, but states can enact their own laws to get around this. They can have constitutional amendments. I hope we don't see that happen, but it could.
Let's hope it doesn't. Janice Cowhey,
yes.
Good to talk to you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.